Hi, I'm Rev Myron. I'm a minister through Pathways of Light, and I've been a Course in Miracles student for 44 years. I'm going through the text again this year, asking Jesus to clarify for me as I read, and then I write from that clarity, and that's what I'm sharing with you today. So let's get started. We're looking at chapter 14, section 7, sharing perception with the Holy Spirit. And today we're going to read paragraphs 6, 7, and 8, and then I'll talk about them. Paragraph 6, you who speak in dark and devious symbols do not understand the language you've made. It has no meaning, for its purpose is not communication, but rather disruption of communication. If the purpose of language is communication, how can this tongue mean anything? Yet, even this strange and twisted effort to communicate through not communicating holds enough of love to make it meaningful if its interpreter is not its maker. You who made it are but expressing conflict, from which the Holy Spirit would release you. Leave what you would communicate to Him. He will interpret it for you with perfect clarity, for He knows with whom you are in perfect communication. Paragraph 7, you know not what you say, and so you know not what is said to you. Yet your interpreter perceives the meaning in your alien language. He will not attempt to communicate the meaningless, but he will separate out all that has meaning, dropping off the rest, and offering your true communication to those who would communicate as truly with you. You speak two languages at once, and this must lead to unintelligibility. Yet, if one means nothing and the other everything, only that one is possible for purposes of communication. The other but interferes with it. Paragraph 8, the Holy Spirit's function is entirely communication. He therefore must remove whatever interferes with communication in order to restore it. Therefore, keep no source of interference from his sight, for he will not attack your sentinels, but bring them to him and let his gentleness teach you that in the light they are not fearful and cannot serve to guard the dark doors behind which nothing at all is carefully concealed. We must open all doors and let the light come streaming through. There are no hidden chambers in God's temple. Its gates are open wide to greet his Son. No one can fail to come where God has called him if he close not the door himself upon his Father's welcome. Well, these paragraphs remind me of something from the Manual for Teachers. Let me not forget, however, that words are but symbols of symbols. They are thus twice removed from reality. Our form of communication obviously leaves a lot to be desired. At our best, we use words that represent as closely as we can the unconditional love of God. Other times, we speak words that represent the ego thought system, which is based on separation and thus not aligned with true communication. In fact, it often prevents real communication, and that we can often and do use both. We stand little chance of communicating clearly. But still, there's enough love in our attempts that if we let the Holy Spirit interpret for us, our attempts to communicate will have meaning. It is the interpretation of words that gives them all the meaning they have for us. The interpreter, therefore, is of supreme importance. I've had occasion to be surprised to hear my words shared in such a way as to turn their meaning upside down. This should not be really surprising, I guess. I've misunderstood others simply because I let the ego interpret for me. I think this is the reason I prefer to write rather than just talk. I'm able to choose my words carefully and to make corrections before anyone sees the contemplation, and even so, I've seen that it is sometimes misinterpreted. This is the kind of confusion that Jesus is talking about in these paragraphs. He says that it can be made meaningful if its interpreter is not its maker. So if I'm in conversation with someone, I will ask the Holy Spirit to be my interpreter of what I hear and to guide my words in such a way that there will be understanding between us. I was once in a conversation with someone who was sharing with me his religious beliefs. They were very different than mine, and from my usual point of view, a little cringy. But I was listening to him through the Holy Spirit, and all I heard was how much he loved God. I was in perfect agreement with that meaning because I love God too. The Holy Spirit had taken from his words only those that were true. And because I was allowing the Holy Spirit to interpret for me, that was all I got from the conversation. This is how we can all communicate if we choose to, and we will all do so eventually. Think what a different world it will be when this happens. I'm doing this as well as I can. I teach the course and facilitate groups. I do this every day, all day long. So I talk to a lot of people, and sometimes I make mistakes. This tends to happen when I get carried away and start sharing what I, as Myron, think. It can also happen when I have unforgiven issues, and so my mind is clouded and I'm not fully open to guidance. But if that happens, I might try to correct my error. Or if that's not going to work, I forgive myself, just as I would someone else who'd made a mistake. I then realign with the Holy Spirit in charge of interpretation and start again. The other way that we can disrupt communication and fail to hear the Holy Spirit clearly is if we have our dark sentinels in place. We do this when we have these sacred cows we don't want to let go. For instance, suppose I had an interpretation of the Course that someone else didn't agree with. I might be so busy justifying my position that I failed to hear the Holy Spirit telling me to let it go. Or I might not argue, but use distraction to keep the conversation away from the opinion that I wanted to protect. If I want to be the helpful messenger that the Holy Spirit needs me to be, I will have to disregard my sentinels and let Him use me in a way that will not disrupt communication. Communication is not restored by better arguments, sharper logic, or more careful phrasing. It is restored when I bring every word, every reaction, and every defended thought to the Holy Spirit and let Him reinterpret it. When I do that, the dark doors open, the sentinels step aside, and only love remains to be heard. That is the language we all truly speak. Thank you for joining me in this reading. I hope that you found it helpful. If you did, then please like it. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe. Also, I did a contemplation of today's lesson, so be sure and check for that. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon.